Welcome to It Factor, the vlogcast that uncovers the it that makes companies stand out in the IT BPM industry. In this episode, we're diving into Emapta with Inga Zwick, Executive Director and Head of Europe. She also leads Emapta's ESG. So what is Emapta's it? Let's find out.
Let's welcome Inga Zwick, the Executive Director of Emapta, for this episode of the It Factor. Inga, very nice to meet you, and I look forward to our conversation.
Great to meet you as well, Jack, and thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Inga, let's begin. The origin story of Emapta. I want to ask you, what first brought Emapta to the Philippines, and what was the idea, that sparked Emapta's story here in the Philippines?
Yeah, I'm happy to tell this story as it resonates with us till this day. Our founder and owner, Tim Vorbach, Australian from Adelaide, he was, still is, but was a serial entrepreneur with a number of businesses across Australia. And back then came to the Philippines to work with some traditional outsourcing companies to help him with specific functions for his business. Among them was sales and marketing functions. And as a owner of multiple businesses with a real drive to grow his businesses across Australia, he needed to have ultimate flexibility. And he kind of felt and experienced firsthand some of the limitation of traditional outsourcing, where he was not able to directly engage with the team members in the Philippines, and wasn't able to ensure that he would pay them appropriately and take good care of them. And he also wanted to have ultimate flexibility and control so that he could change his mind, try a new different strategy tomorrow with these team members. Long story short, he ended up packing his bags, moving to the Philippines with his new wife and setting up Emapta, because he knew there would be a different way, because he had seen the quality and the drive of the Filipinos that he was working with, and he wanted to make sure that he would do right by them as well in working with them. And that's how Emapta was born, initially for his own businesses. Then it kind of grew to businesses in the network, and eventually became the business itself. And we've been in business now for 15 years and have just hit our 10,000 team member mark in the Philippines. So we've come a long way.
That's really quite a remarkable story. So, 15 years. So, this started in 2010. Is that correct?
That's right. Yes. We're going on to 16 years almost, but yes, exactly right.
10,000 strong Filipino workforce. That's quite a remarkable growth story. And I congratulate you and the Emapta team on this success story here in the Philippines. Now, I wanted to ask, what were some of the make or break moments or early challenges from those times that have shaped Emapta into what it is today?
One of the earliest make or break story that Tim tells was that when he had his original team with another company, it was really a pivotal moment for him. He had an outstanding team member that was really, really important to him for the business. This person did a really, really good job. And Tim wanted to make sure that he would give a salary increase to this team member because they did such an amazing job. And a traditional outsourcing company wasn't really keen on doing that because they were worried about if they offer one salary increase to one team member, they would need to do it for the others. And they also were kind of worried about their own margin if they, would earn less if the team member would get more. And that kind of was a pivotal moment for Tim. That is like, no, there must be a way. As an entrepreneur, I want to get the best people. I want to pay them well. I want to make sure that they are compensated fairly for the work they do. And automatically, because of the difference in cost of living between Australia and the Philippines, there will be cost savings to him as an entrepreneur. But he didn't want to ever have savings on the back of the employees. And so that was the moment where he, yeah, like I said, packed his bag, moved to the Philippines. And the commercial model that we have is that the salary and the benefits cost of the team members are are charged as a pass-through cost to our employees. We do not mark up on their salaries or on their benefits because that is really important to us that we take good care of them and they're properly paid. We do not earn on that. We charge for our services as we also provide office spaces, infrastructure, information security, hardware, HR and engagement. We charge for the services that we provide as an add-on to our clients, but we do not mark up. And that is really the pivotal moment that happened back then, and that formed the basis for our business model. And that still carries us throughout today. Even today, we always want to make sure we do right by the people, that is our employees, our communities in the Philippines, and also our clients, so that they also always transparently know what they're paying for, and who gets what.
Well, thank you for sharing that, important part of Emapta's people first culture. And I'm sure our audience was very would be very interested to hear that. It's often said, right, that the biggest advantage of the Philippines as an IT BPM destination are its human capital. What were some of the reasons that convinced you in the early phase of of your history that Filipino talent could be the engine for Emapta's global growth?
I suppose it started with simple things like the English skills in the Philippines. I mean, you and I know it. I lived in the Philippines. You're Filipino. Everyone speaks English in the Philippines, and at a very high level, like very good English. Now, we've been in the Philippines, we know this, but companies abroad, let's say in the US, in Australia, Europe, they don't know. They don't always assume automatically. So that is one of the first tick boxes that the Philippines already has. People speak excellent English. So the communication is already a given. And that's a huge advantage comparing to other countries, whether it is in Southeast Asia or even global outsourcing destinations, where the Philippines already, let's say, has one up as a basic. The education in the Philippines largely done in English as well. So team members across different functions, whether it is in accounting and finance, whether it is in IT, as we're talking about now for tech development roles, but also business support or other functions, is already very much aligned with Western and international standards. So again, there is not a huge gap in terms of skill set. In fact, there's already an initial alignment. But probably besides the skills and the English, it's also the Filipino mindset and work ethic. Incredibly hardworking, dedicated, really eager to work. And what I always say, my favorite part of working with Filipinos and living there is the positivity. There is always a can-do attitude. There is always a smile. There's always yes, let's do it. And in a global workplace, that is an incredible differentiator when you have people who just here to work, just get the task done, and are positive and nice about it. They're just pleasant to work with. And then coupled with the skills and the English level, it's just a perfect combination.
Yeah, thank you, for saying that. I'm sure our audience and the listeners will agree. People often talk about the empathy, right, of Filipinos, and in our industry where we solve many problems of all our customers around the world. uh, it has really gone beyond communication, and that empathy, the ability to listen, and as once problems are resolved, are very, very important. So my next question, Inga, is really for the listeners of the podcast. who may not be as familiar with Emapta, how would you explain? Um, how would you explain, in simple terms, what makes the Emapta model different from the usual offshoring setup? Because you have quite a unique model.
Yes, absolutely. So, I mean, we are an outsourcing company, or in the Philippines, it's commonly used a BPO. But we actually always use a term that's called dedicated staffing, meaning we will help customers build offshore teams in the Philippines or in other countries that we operate in, who work on a dedicated manner with our clients. That means a team member who's working in the Philippines, let's say it's a developer, a Python developer, as an example, will be working with one client. So they'll be assigned to one client and they will become part of that client's team. They are legally employed by us and we will take care of HR, payroll, compliance, making sure that the team member is fully administered according to local labor laws in the Philippines, that they're properly paid, that their SSS, Pag-ibig, all of that is taken care of. We also provide private health care and additional training opportunities. So we take care of the team members here in Manila, in Cebu, Davao, across the Philippines. But the day-to-day work of that, in this example, the developer, is done directly with the client. So the cool thing about that, how we explain it to our team members, is like I always say, you can have an international career without the need to go abroad. So it's like OFWs, but staying from home. Because really, our team members, they work with global brands, global businesses that do really innovative, exciting work. And so they have a work opportunity that does not exist in the Philippines, but they no longer have to leave their families and go abroad. They can stay at home and get to have a meaningful career. And for the client, on the other hand, they get to access, we just talked about, a greatly educated, motivated team member who is also eager to grow and to have a career, but they don't have to have them in, let's say, the UK or US. They get to work with them remotely. And the MAPTA facilitates that with our 18 offices across the Philippines. The reason we have so many offices is, in one word, traffic. We want to make sure we are closer to the team members wherever they are. Again, Alabang, Cebu, Davao, so that they can be closer to home. And then for the client, we make sure that our offices are A-grade locations for the team members, but also from a security perspective, that they are fully set up so that the data security, data privacy aspect, the hardware component, even compliance, GDPR for the European businesses is all taken care of for the client so that it's no risk for them and they can just focus on the work with the team member.
Well, indeed, workplace flexibility, is really the catchphrase of this generation, and the 3-year pandemic that we just experienced not so long ago certainly accelerated the trend, and also drove home the importance of listening to the voice of the employee. Uh, but something you said, Inga, about uh, the motivation of employees, right? Especially your workforce in the Philippines. So I wanted to ask you about that. What keeps your teams energized these days? Are there any projects or initiatives that you and the team are very excited about at this time?
Absolutely. I mean, there's so many. So, how much time do you have? But let's say I'll try to keep it short. Once I get started on that, I'll get very passionate. So, stop me anytime, Jack. So, firstly, I mean, I talked already about the commercial model and how we employ them and, we pay them appropriately. So, it starts with that. So, when a team member or a candidate applies to the job, we're very clear about what the job description is. We make sure we clarify the salary that we pay, and we pay really good competitive salaries. That's the starting point. But then once they are with us, we make sure that they are, in fact, like we said, integrated with the client, so they get to be part of that international company. But at the same time, they're also joining the Emapta family. So we have an Emapta Academy. This is a learning management platform where we do virtual as well as in-person training and developments. This is more on the, it's over 80 courses, and they go from data security to personal development to leadership skills to Excel, Google tools, and so on. So the team member always has a chance to develop themselves further, even as they do their day-to-day job. We in the 18 offices that we have, it's all about that personal connection. So we have team members who work from home, we have team members who work in an office, and then we have team members who do a hybrid. It depends on the role and on the client's requirement. Now, we would always love to have as many people as possible in an office because you can have more personal interaction and actually really have that human touch. But we are also happy and we do facilitate a work from home arrangement as well. So what our teams do, they organize engagement activities in the offices, but also virtually. So we have, computer game battles online. We have fitness programs in our office gyms in Ortigas and Makati, but those are also broadcasted online for those who might live, for example, in Bulacan and don't have the chance to commute into the office for that fitness class. They can join this online. So we're really trying to make sure we don't leave anyone behind and integrate everyone. And these programs are really appreciated. The staff love it. They really have huge participations there as well. We also will, I always say competitive, Jan, like the teams are very competitive. We have the different offices, for example, decorate for Halloween and they battle against each other and who gets the
Right.
prizes, or basketball tournaments and just the fun things that we do. Besides that, one thing that gets me personally very, very motivated is we really make sure we also give back to the community and the environment as well. We really make sure that we look twice about the impact that we make on the Philippines and our teams. As a company, we became B Corp certified in 2024. That means we are a company that has proven to hold ourselves accountable to global standards in terms of ESG, environment, social, and governance metrics. And for the Philippines, that means we have corporate social responsibility programs. I probably might pronounce this one wrong, Brigada Escuela. We also do tree planting. We go to orphanages and we give back to the communities around the offices that we're in. But then we also go one step further and really provide a training program that's called RISE, where we provide training and employment opportunities for people with disabilities. Because again, it's all about making sure that we help create more jobs in the Philippines for a wide range of team members. And that's where the RISE program is something that really fuels us. And we have big plans to expand that program in 2026 and beyond with the goal to employ over 1,000 team members with disabilities for our clients. So this is what we're working on. And sorry, like I said, stop me anytime. I get very passionate about this, but it's really, in simple terms, it's about putting our people first and making sure that we support them to be their best. Like one of the things I always say to our team members, say, look, we have gyms, please use them, but I can't force them to, and I won't force them to use the gym, but just like think about we all work, we have commute, we have family, we have commitments, maybe church, whatever is important to us. But if we don't look after our own health, how can we be there for our loved ones? So we try to support that by encouraging people to work out, join the gym, join our clubs, the Emapta clubs for different interest groups, just so that they also look after their own well-being and don't just like come in, do the work, then go home and work hard again for the family. We want to make sure that they also for themselves are able to grow.
Well, fantastic examples, Inga, of that people first and very employee centric, uh, value system that's empowering and very purpose driven. So I can't your examples brought to life that reputation, right, of Emapta. That's very that's really people first.
I just wanted to say that this is, in the IT space, this is not just important to us and the people. This is important to our clients too. Like our clients, yes, it's all about making sure they get the right tech talent to work on their solution, to remain innovative, to drive their business growth. But they want to do right by their people in that process too. So we're not just doing this for us and our people. Our clients choose us because we do this. And like the B Corp certification, clients look for these kind of things because they want to make sure that they have a partner that would represent the same values that they have for their people. And then uh, the symbiosis of that is what helps us grow together, our people, our clients, and Emapta as well.
You know, we have read this, but the future of work is already here, and the workplace as we know it is being rewritten by automation, by AI, and what we just talked about. Hybrid work, or being able to work from anywhere, right? So, how, in your words, is Emapta evolving to stay ahead of the curve? Not just surviving and adapting to change, but actually trying to shape the way that we work, as we progress through this very transformative uh, type of work that keeps changing every 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, this has been our the probably the buzzword of AI, right? Has been the reality for us in the business world, and it's something that we've really embraced and are not scared of or worried about because we are seeing how AI and humans, the interconnection, is really what drives growth. So within Emapta, we have a large technology team that develops our own tools and platforms. As we just said, we have 10,000 people that we employ. So to run an operation for 10,000 people, you need technology as well. So we are really running on several technology platforms that are home developed in the Philippines. So that's what we're very, very proud of. And the people that we have, they are impressive. I mean, our tech team, they're just amazing. When I talk to them, I like understand half of what they say, but they know their stuff. And part of our team is really an AI division. So we have a senior AI specialists and in our team who obviously help to improve and continuously innovate our own tools. And so much to the fact that when we present these to our clients, they're really impressed and they see, wow, you guys have this. How did you do that? So we also provide advisory services to our clients. And thereby we're showing to our clients, we're not afraid about if you implement this LLM system or this chatbot, you will no longer need staff in the Philippines. And so our business is obsolete. Instead, we show them, hey, if you integrate this tool like we have, then you can improve the work process like this. And then the people that you have can shift and upskill to take care of the more high value tasks, the one that need human interaction and to be remaining competitive in their marketplace. Because let's face it, even as this AI revolution is happening, I think not everyone agrees, but I think most of us agree that the human element is not going to go away. We all still want human interaction, and there is always going to be an element there. And this is what we help co-shape with our clients. So we come in, our AI experts tell them, hey, here's what's possible. Here's how you could integrate it. We understand their tools, their tech stack, where they're at. And we see, okay, we work with them on a workforce planning solution as well for the long term to say, where are you going to need these people and where and how? And the beauty of our Philippine workforce, as well as the workforce across our other geographies, is that they're very agile and very flexible. And we've already seen a shift in the way, the type of work that our team members do, and they're very adaptable. And so we just see that we're not shying away from technology. In fact, we're embracing it, we're driving it, because we see when we do that, our people still have a place and they have a chance to upskill and grow.
So, Inga, let us fast forward 3 to 5 years from now. What is the next chapter looking like for Emapta? What is the big ambition that keeps you and the other leaders of the company What gets you up in the morning? What is the future going to be?
Again, how much time do you have? But no, so what gets us up in the morning, I can speak for myself. I believe it is the same for my fellow leaders, is really knowing that the work that we do makes a real impact in people's lives. Meaning, we create work opportunities for people in the Philippines and our other global countries where these opportunities do not exist yet. And as such, we help the development of their personal careers, lives, communities, and the country overall. So that's what motivates me. Because really, when I have a I do a lot of sales conversations with clients now that I'm in Europe, mostly here in Europe, and I like the direct outcome of a successful conversation with a future client is a creation of a job. And in return, once that job is created for the team members in the Philippines, the client benefits from having an outstanding team members fully integrated into their business. So that's what motivates us. This is still going to be like that's the driver for what we do, and that's the basis of what we do. And I don't expect this to change in 3 to 5 years from now. What is going to change is the utilization and integration of more technology and AI solutions in that process, and the shift of how and where the human skills are going to be integrated in that process. The other aspect that we really see changing already, and so currently we're seeing it change, especially for like startups and very innovative companies, while the traditional companies are still a little bit more maybe traditional and are still observing the trend, is to really see and value our offshore resources, whether it's in the Philippines, in Colombia, in North Macedonia, where I am, for our clients to really see those offshore resources as an equal contributor to their business. While in the traditional, and maybe several years ago, it was more like the perception of, oh, I need to save some money. Let me hire someone at the other end of the world. It costs less. We've already transcended that and are now already at the point where we no longer have to explain to them how, whether they have electricity in the Philippines and how our people are going to work. We no longer have to explain that. When I joined Emapta 6 years ago, we still had that conversation. I had to explain to them that it's not a sweatshop, that our people are working in A-grade offices. So even with the pandemic and the whole work from home adaptation, we've transcended that. And now it's really that pivotal moment where people see, wow, I can run a global workforce. I can have a developer in the Philippines and a project manager in Bogota and a salesperson in Skopje, Macedonia, and I can run a successful business. And while a lot of businesses are already doing this, I expect that in 3 to 5 years from now, it's just going to be normal. And we can't wait for that because we experience it ourselves. Our team is global. Like I said, I'm here and I still work with the Philippines and I speak to Colombia in the afternoon. And we already live this reality and we know how amazing it is. And in 3 to 5 years, it's going to be widely adapted. And that really excites us.
Well, that's a wonderfully articulated answer. Indeed, we've arrived at the future of work. It's already here, right? And you just described why that is, and it's going to be a very interesting road ahead for sure. So, Inga, let's go back to the Philippines, right? Being your biggest hub in the Emapta global portfolio. How do you see moving forward Emapta contributing and strengthening the Philippines' position as a global IT BPM and capital?
The role that we play as a now very large employer in the Philippines is not just the reputation and the brand that we have in the Philippines, where people in team members want to work with us because they know we're a solid company. The same happens on the other side of the planet. For example, when we speak to American customers, Emapta, as a global brand that is evoking trust with our customers, gives them a risk-free access to the Philippines. Because for someone who, yeah, let's say lives in the US and has never been to Southeast Asia, the concept of hiring somebody working in Manila, they'll first have to Google where that even is. The concept of hiring somebody there feels like a big step and a big risk for the business. Working with an established company like us, and we really make sure we take care of all aspects of the relationship, as I talked earlier about environment, social governance. This includes data security, privacy, but also governance in terms of compliance with government regulations, taxation, and so on. We really, I always say the short answer is we've got you covered. And then we can give them so much more details in terms of all the things we do to make sure that our clients do not have risks. We make it risk-free for them. And by that, we give them access to the amazing talent pool in the Philippines. Hypothetically speaking, yes, a customer could directly find somebody in the Philippines and employ them, but to do it properly and do right by his business, all the risks there, as well as the employee, and making sure that they're taken care of and properly administered, that the taxes are being paid, the benefits are administered. If the team member has a God forbid, a health situation in their family or anything happens, then we are here to help. And that's what I think is the value that Emapta already does bring to, of course, the Philippines, but also that we will continue to drive at a larger scale because we have a sophisticated presence that gives confidence to both the employee as well as the client.
Well, thank you for that wonderful answer, Inga. And I guess as we wrap up what's been a very insightful conversation, I wanted to ask you as my final question. To the young Filipinos who may be listening to the It Factor, what would be your message to these young Filipinos who are dreaming, of what their global careers might look like? What kind of meaningful, impactful work they might find in the industry with companies such as Emapta? What would you say to the young Filipinos listening right now?
Yeah, so I suppose, and I say this to our teams regularly. I always, together with our other leaders, we greet every new hire in our new hire orientation. And part of my message is to just really believe in themselves and the skills that they bring. As I mentioned earlier, one of the amazing traits of Filipinos is their positivity, that eagerness to be a hardworking individual and really bring their best to the company. It's kind of almost a given in Filipino nature, right? So I always say, look, you already have it. It's already in you. It's been instilled in you with a Filipino culture. Be proud of it and own it and use it for yourself. Like, that's what I always say. Like, you don't even think twice about always being friendly and smiling and being eager to make things happen. Acknowledge that that is special and really buy into it. For younger, so we also, when I lived there, I also met young Filipinos who might still be in high school and they're thinking ahead for future careers. Of course, the advice is always do well in school, give it your best, and you really invest in the English language as well, making sure that you really do, surpass the nosebleed. I know when you meet us foreigners and they have to speak English, it's like, oh, I get nosebleed. Great. Well, please work on that and continue to invest
Absolutely.
in improving your English, because it's going to give you firstly, it doesn't actually normally hurt. It doesn't actually make you bleed, but it actually gives you a skill set that it opens up so many opportunities, so that you can then look in, if they are well spoken and they are interested and they have an international interest. The roles that we have can be anything. It often starts with a customer service or a call center type of work. That's where a lot of young Filipinos start out, and that's not an easy environment, but it builds character, it builds skill set. But a lot of the team members we have, they work in really exciting roles, like accounting and finance. We talk about IT developers, coding, but also in the AI. So whatever interests them, they should really pursue their education in that aspect where they can, and at the same time continue investing in improving improving their English and their openness to the world, because then when they speak with global businesses like ours, that's when they can bring in those skill sets.
Wonderful words of advice to our younger listeners who are aspiring to build their career. I especially like the part about the importance of communication and language proficiency, because this is really the foundation, right, of the work that we do. Without that foundation, you cannot do. You don't have comprehension, analytical skills, and critical thinking. So thank you very much for sharing those words of wisdom to our listeners. Inga, this has been a very interesting, engaging conversation. I was amazed by your description of the story of Emapta from the very beginning, 15 years back, to where you are today, a 10,000 strong global company with global customers all over across many, many different domains. Thank you for sharing that story. I'm sure our listeners of the It Factor are very interested in the stories that you shared. And again, it's been a lot of fun speaking with you, and I look forward to meeting you somewhere in the world, someday soon.
Hopefully in the Philippines. I mean, my team considers me, they always say I'm Pinay at heart, because I really have embraced the Philippines and Filipino culture so much. So I'll be there again in a few weeks, and excited to see my team and breathe Filipino air and eat Filipino mangoes. So let's meet up there, Jack.
Wow. Okay. I look forward to that, Inga. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of the week. Thank you. And to our listeners, I want to thank you for listening to another episode of the It Factor. Thank you, everyone.
And that's it for today with It Factor. Thank you for tuning in with us. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow and subscribe to IBPAP on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Instagram. Catch the next episode on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Till next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep finding the it that sets you apart.